Hola, están escuchando a mi vecindad.
Aquí tu amigo locutor, programador y muy bien desconocido Dr. G.
Y su cómplice, el Chivo.
Y el Manolo Diabólico. Buenas noches, raza. Esta noche tenemos algo especial. Con nosotros está la banda DATURA, miembros integrantes de la banda David Betancourt, cantante guitarrista, y Jake St. John. Welcome, David. Welcome, Jake, to Radio Mi Vecindad.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
It's been a minute, David. We had you a couple of years ago, and that was a blast.
Yeah, it was.
So, David, you have the honor of being our first repeat guest.
Well, thank you.
Órale.
That's awesome.
I will say this. We've been playing the mess out of you guys for, almost 3 years? We're definitely vibing out and fans of DATURA.
Yeah, so for those who are new to the program and are digging DATURA, just first and foremost, how and when did you guys connect? What sparked the birth of DATURA? And how did you guys choose the band name?
Well, I believe we met in 2017. Jake and I met through a mutual friend. And so we started jamming out. And I had brought a few ideas, and Jake had some ideas. And we were like, we're kind of really starting to dig like what we had going on. And eventually we reached out to Tiffany Schaefer, the drummer. You know, we asked, hey, would you be interested in joining something more like this sound? Because we've all been in like different types of bands. I was in a punk band, and Jake had his own projects going on before, and maybe he can touch down on that and the name.
So what's the story, Jake?
Nothing flashy. As musicians, you often keep lists of names, concepts, lyrical ideas, and things like that. So I think choosing band names is like one of the worst things about being in bands.
Totally.
It really sucks. And so, you know, I had dozens of names that I had a list going. Datura, it's a flower, but it's also used as a psychedelic drug, and it's often used in criminal activities and things like that. I had watched some kind of like shitty YouTube video about how like in Mexico and places like that, they will turn it into drugs and, you know, roll people and stuff like that. It's got like really intense psychedelic properties, but it's also a really dark psychedelic experience, really strong. We like the concept of beauty and terror. That's kind of a ongoing theme of ours in our music.
Yeah, that definitely touches on as far as like the musical styles. Datura being a trio, post-punk, death rock, dark wave. When they hear your name, and I think it's especially more, I've heard this from women more than men, they immediately will be like, oh, I won't forget the name of the band because I know what Datura is.
We've run into a lot of people lately who give us the little nod, you know, and wink like, oh, Datura, have you tried it? You know, we're not into that. And there's also like a ton of bands called Datura. When we started playing, we didn't have any preconceived notions about where we'd end up or what we would do or how far we'd take this.
The music is awesome. We've definitely been supporting you guys since the last album came out on Sell the Heart Records, and it's been 3 years. So now Songs from a Dark House just dropped. What was that, in April? And how has the reception been for the second album for you guys?
It's been really awesome. I think that with the time that we've put in just on Arcanochemical, we've been able to, over time, just acquire a lot more listeners. And so I think this album has grown maybe faster than Arcanochemical did, just because we do have more listeners. It's interesting to see what the go-tos are for so many people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for instance, the last album, Arcanochemical, the most played song is Sapphire.
It's a great song.
We didn't really expect that, you know? And it's kind of been similar for this album so far, but we'll see. There's a couple of songs that are just kind of going like this, teeter-tottering. So,
speaking of reception, just a fun fact that I learned was that Cool Rock Radio named you guys Band of the Month for April of 2025 when your album came out.
Nice. Well, shout out to them. Thanks.
I got a quick question. Was there any difference in the process of recording this album compared to the last one? Like, did you guys go to the same studio, different producer?
Yeah, so we went to the same person, Chad Yenny.
Okay.
It's a different area that he moved to. He lives in Olympia now, where he lived in Wenatchee before. You know, it's the same stuff, same guy. I do think that we approached it differently this time, a little more confident, and we had it, I think, more dialed down. And so, yeah, I think that all has made a difference, you know, that coming into it a little more confidently.
Nice. Did you guys spend a long time in the studio, like an excessive amount, or like hours, days?
We got there on a Friday night and left on a Monday morning. So we put in about 36 hours in the studio or something like that.
You guys got really stinky.
No, I just got to get down to business. It's better. It's better that way.
You're not paying to rehearse. So the themes ranging from burnout, love, loss. It's okay with everybody. Let's listen to 2 songs from the new album, tired, and then nobody cares. And then we'll talk a little bit once we come back.
Mi vecindad.
I'm staying home tonight. I don't want to
que acabamos de escuchar, la primera canción fue Tired y la segunda canción fue Nobody Cares del nuevo álbum Songs from a Dark House de DATURA. Jake, David, can you tell us a little about the first song, Tired?
That's kind of sometimes how I feel, especially like when I'm not feeling social. I don't know if you guys watched the music video. You know, Jake, in the music video, Jake texts me and he's like, yo, man, like there's going to be a show tonight. You should come out. And I'm just like, nah, I'm good, you know? Just that sometimes, like, dude, you just want to be alone.
Some me time.
But eventually, in the music video, I walk out and I'm walking around the town alone. But I'm telling everybody else, I'm not going out tonight. Like, I'm going to do my own thing, kind of a thing. It's not really meant to be, like, super sad, but... And that's why we wanted, I think, to add visuals to it. I think the whole upbeat and being tired is kind of like an oxymoron there.
Jake.
Yes, sir.
The second song that we listened to, Nobody Cares. What can you tell us about that?
With this album, the writing process was a great escape for what was going on for our lives. David has done a really good job crafting the lyrics and handling the frontman duties and stuff. We collaborate really closely on arrangements and parts for the music and stuff. We share kind of the vision of what we want to do visually with the band, but also thematically with the band. And so I have a lot of trust in what he brings to the table for the lyrical stuff. I'm a real melancholy kind of person. My lyrics are probably even darker than David's, you know? Like, my lyrics for Bouncy House are darker than what's there. And so we do a good job of balancing each other out, you know?
If you don't mind just speaking a little bit about your background, like what was your musical journey as far as like past projects and the musical styles that you did or are into?
Well, in college, like in the early 2000s, I was in a band called Lago Volunteers, and that was, I wouldn't say post-punk. It was more unwound, Fugazi.
I love Unwound, man.
We sounded, you know, more like that than post-punk. Moving back to Wenatchee, I was in a variety of bands, kind of rock and roll stuff, jammy, black metal, doomy stuff. I've always wanted to play in metal bands, but not a lot of people do that around here, so it's hard.
Really?
I mean, there's a lot of punk rock. Dave and I were pretty lucky to meet up. Aside from like liking extreme music, I'm huge into 80s pop. You know, I grew up in the 80s listening to Prince and Talking Heads and Duran Duran and Billy Idol and all that kind of stuff.
Now, when you guys typically write, like, say, new songs, do you guys like do it like at a practice spot or just individually and then mesh it up after that, or how does that work with you guys?
It's a little bit of both. So sometimes we'll be messing around and then we'll like feed off of each other's style. We don't jam too much, but when we do, sometimes it turns into something else, you know, and it becomes a song. For instance, the song Trapped off of Arcanochemical, I think we played that all in one time through and we're like, that should be a song.
That touches a little bit on the next question I was going to ask you guys is how would you describe the evolution of the band's growth since Arcanochemical? And it sounds like a lot of it has to do with your songwriting partnership. Is there anything else that you guys want to share about the evolution of the band from Arcanochemical to the new album, Songs from a Dark House?
When we released Arcanochemical, we were in a phase for a couple years of just practicing for shows and playing out. So we weren't exploring a whole lot of new ideas, if I remember correctly. And then we kind of got to a point where we did start writing and things started to kind of happen quickly. When we first started writing, things just clicked really quickly. You know, we were stoked on the ideas we were pulling together and happy and surprised with the reception we received. Just putting stuff out on Bandcamp, it just kind of gained natural momentum without us doing a whole lot. We connected with people who were gracious and helped us get shows in cities and stuff. Putting out the full length of Arcanochemical was like a major milestone for us working with Sell the Heart. So I feel like we had more experience and confidence writing. We were all three in like really gnarly personal places when we were writing Songs from a Dark House.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, for me, a total release in spite of all the challenges that we faced individually. Like, band practice was something that was really consistent, pretty much no matter what was going down.
Your wife, from what I've read online, she's also a big part of the band's imagery. She's done a lot of the photography for you guys. Does she also do the help with the videos as well? The album covers, or?
She did the album. She did everything visually for... She's taken over the visual duties, essentially.
So she's responsible for the cover then of Songs from...
Yeah, let's switch to the cover. What the fuck is going on with this cover, dude?
Yeah, totally. Here's the whole deal. My father was sick with cancer for like 3 years, and we were battling really fucking bad. And so he passed away.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thank you. He passed away over a year ago now. So the night he passed, we started going through photos, and Casey found these photos from his childhood.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
he's in his pictures.
Yeah. So it's like a seriously personal thing in commemoration of my dad's memory. So
that's beautiful, man.
Thank you. I don't know what to say about it. It's just it is really creepy and stuff, but it's also very weird innocence and brokenness to it. Casey captured the feelings of loss through that art.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
I'm proud of it. And it's very personal, but it's also something that I'm like joyfully happy to share because of what it means.
It's a great segue to the next song. The next song that we're going to listen to is Scarecrow. David, that's from one of your earlier singles through your Shanks project. When I first listened to this song, I definitely really appreciated the fact that it had a fuller sound. And one of the things that I noticed across the recording was just how beefier the drums sounded on this album versus the first album.
Yes.
Do you guys want to just talk a little bit about how this song came to be included in the new DATURA album?
I think Jake he's like, hey, dude, like, we should include a Shanks FM song. And because I think before I had shared about possibly doing Shanks FM stuff as well, like performance-wise. Scarecrow, it gets played quite a bit through different DJs at venues, or, it's a pretty simple, structured song. We have the instruments for it, and we were like, hey, well, let's try it out. We started playing it, and we started including it in our sets as well. Like, people are bouncing around for that one, and people get excited, and we're like, dude, this would be a cool one. So Jake was like, hey, dude, we should make that a part of the album. And overall, I think this album does sound beefier in general. I think we had all agreed that we kind of wanted a slightly different sound than the other recordings that we've had. And yeah, I think it sounds awesome. I think we all came in a lot more confident this time. And yeah, we're happy with the results,
I sent you a message when I first listened to the album, and I was like, oh my God, you guys redid Scarecrow. And it just sounds so much amazing with the DATURA band. It sounds great as the single you put out, but I definitely really, really vibed with a full band. Let's have a listen to it, G. Do us.
Mi Vecindad.
Acabamos de escuchar a Sirena, una de dos canciones en español en el nuevo álbum Songs from a Dark House. David, when that song dropped, I reached out to you and I said, this song is fucking awesome. And also the song we heard before, Scarecrow, which is a redo of your Shanks FM single. And it sounds amazing with full band. It's kind of interesting because I feel that when you sing in Spanish, it gives your vocals a little bit of airiness and it allows...
You sound actually even more gothic.
What was great about this song is that the pop elements, it has enough pop elements where I've introduced it to a whole people and they're all digging it.
Thank you.
Tell us about the song.
Yeah, Sirena, I was listening to a lot of rock en español when I had come up with that idea. You know, a lot of rock en español does have very much pop elements, but I was specifically listening to Gustavo Cerati's old band.
Oh, Soda Stereo?
The one before. And I was just like, dude, they got some like bouncy kind of bass and it's very poppy, but the vocals behind it, you know, it's not Gustavo's voice, it's some other guy, but they sing very similar, but they each have their own style. So I was listening to a lot of rock en español and that melody and everything, very much influenced by rock en español. Naturally, I wanted to write something in Spanish for it. And we love it.
Because even like Sapphire has a little bit of that too. I think that's why I gravitate so much towards it. But it definitely, allows to explore, a little bit more like pop structure, things like that. So it resonates with us.
That's awesome. Thank you.
So the album just dropped a few weeks ago. You guys got any immediate plans for the foreseeable future?
Well, we've played a lot of shows around the region. We talk about our tour yet, David?
No, not yet. That's what I think I'm going to reel you guys into.
Yeah. We are July 18th, 19th. We're heading out on tour. We're going to be hitting a bunch of cities, heading south. So you can expect an announcement, I think, on Monday. We're going to try to get the news out with specifics, but hitting Portland, Chico, Eugene, Sacramento, LA, San Diego, Reno, Las Vegas.
Nice. And you guys are also going to be coming back to do that 2-day festival show for Sell the Heart Records at Gilman in August. That's awesome. So I want to know, dude, what's the story with the drag parties?
The drag parties in San Francisco? Ask David about that.
Yeah. So the promoter, he does those events, and he also does like cumbia goth nights. And so we had asked about trying to, get a show in San Francisco. And so doing what he does, he just put it all together, like all in one, basically.
So the Datura, you guys were touching a little bit on like life and stuff. So is Datura a band of a labor of love, meaning you all have day jobs and stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Keeping it real.
For sure.
You guys mind sharing what you guys do in your day jobs?
I'm a teacher.
And any specific grade?
Yeah, I teach high school English classes and AP classes, college classes.
Awesome. That's amazing.
I'm transitioning into a different field, basically. So I'm working in the orchard.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, you were doing construction before, weren't you?
Brown.
No, I was, yeah. Yeah, dude. I love it. I love working out in the orchard when it's not blazing hot. The other day, a dog ate my lunch, so that's cool. Friggin' just ate my lunch and tipped over my coffee like first thing in the morning. I was like, that's how my day's going to go. All right.
And the reason it's not uncommon, like all of us, we all have day jobs. I'm in public service. Hector works with disabled adults. G, for the longest time, he was working in mental health. It's the day gig, man.
Got to do it. I think most of my rock heroes are blue collar dudes,
Any real bands always had day jobs, unless you totally made it. It is what it is. It's, pursue the dream.
Real, man. It's life. I think, the whole fantasy of rock and roll, money and all that kind of bullshit, that does not exist in the real world, man.
What bands or artists are you guys currently loving at the moment? Care to share?
I'm all over the place.
So are we.
I listen to a lot of ambient stuff. Johan Johansson is a composer from Europe. He's done a lot of like soundtracks and stuff. A lot of ambient stuff when I'm at home, chilling, listening to records. Cure, Slayer, Chameleons. Been into like old school, like underground hip hop lately. Wolves in the Throne Room.
East Coast or West Coast hip hop?
Actually, a lot of East Coast stuff. Like Eric B. and Rakim, that kind of like old school.
I love Eric B. and Rakim.
Like when rap was kind of innocent, just poetic and true,
Dude, when we were kids, like punk and rap kind of were so fringe that they were kind of equivalent. This is back like late 80s. All the cool kids listened to like top 40 or whatever. But all the like fringe kids would listen to metal, hip hop, or punk. And sometimes all at the same time at the same party.
Yeah, so we just performed Bremerton this last weekend on Saturday. I had performed there before with my old punk band. We went to an after party and there's like, skinheads and punks and but we were like just listening to rap, you know, so it's just like, whatever, dude, you know, it was a good time. And when we're young and angry or whatever, we just have different ways of expressing ourselves, but we're in it together, that kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, especially, you know, if you grow up in a neighborhood, you know, with your friends and stuff, okay, you might be into metal, but they're going to be into rap or hip hop or something, and you're just going to listen to each other's shit because you guys are hanging out.
Growing up before the internet, you know, in the tape trading days, that's the only way we got access to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to Headbangers Ball and Metal Shop on the radio when we were kids, and recording those programs and playing the hell out of those cassettes was the only way to get access to shit, because we were broke. We couldn't do anything but steal records from the record shop.
We would go up to the university.
No, we would do the same thing. We would either record Headbangers Ball, 120 minutes. One was on Fridays, one was on Saturdays, and we do that. And then, you know, just tape trade.
That stuff was a big influence on me as a kid, you know, being like 6 or whatever, when it was like brand new and Hall & Oates was the shit, you know. Still love Hall & Oates, but, you know, those guys made MTV. Those little images that I saw when I was a kid and those melodies just kind of burned into me.
I'm curious about your guys' collaboration with Poland's Batcave Productions. How did that come to be?
I think Tomas just hit us up. He said, "Hey, I like what you guys got going on."
Yeah, he's also worked with other bands that we performed with, like Nox Novacula, I believe.
Tons of bands, S's, Nick's Division, shitloads of P&W bands, but like he works with a huge amount of bands.
Nice.
He's a rad dude.
And what's your relationship with Andy Pohl from Sell the Heart? How's that going?
He's amazing. That guy rules. Yeah, he's great. We're really lucky to work with him. He's massively supportive, very resourceful. He's knowledgeable. He helps his bands. Dude, he works his ass off. The guy he's just a machine. And we are so excited to meet him. We have yet to meet him. So when we fly in and play his festival, will be the first time we get to give him a bro hug, man.
Nice. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude for sure. Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys there. I'll be at the festival. Last time you guys came around, I got fucking COVID like a few days before. I was super bummed because you guys were coming around, and I think a few days later, French Police was coming around. And long story short, I missed both shows.
All right, don't get COVID this time, dude.
Tápate la boca.
Yeah, tápate.
Orale. So let's listen to Shooting Up in the Bouncy House. That was a surprise for me, just because it's a little different from a lot of the songs. Jake, do you want to share a little bit about what Shooting Up in the Bouncy House is about?
I started listening to a bunch of R&B, like really getting into bass lines and a lot of like Carol K stuff, and just wanted to kind of go in like a dancier mode. You know, we'd been talking about like incorporating disco grooves and funk and shit because we like to dance, you know. And so we jammed on the idea, and I just offhandedly named it in my notes, Shooting Up in the Bouncy House. And the concept kind of grew on us as we thought about it, because it was just a throwaway title, to be honest. But the more we thought about it, it kind of matches our duality of, you know, the beautiful and the terrible and all that kind of stuff. The playfulness and like the depravity. That's kind of where the concept just ended up sticking the more we thought about it.
Yeah, I think the first time I listened to it, where my brain initially went was it reminded me a little bit of some like Clash hooks and stuff like that. But then it became like an earworm. Like it just stayed in my head, and then all of a sudden I was like, holy shit, I think this is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Nice.
Yeah, our buddy kind of compared it to some ELO bass hooks, and I was pretty stoked. Yeah, so the whole idea is just like about gleeful self-destruction, like, you know, nihilistic, don't give a shit, gonna go out partying. But ironically, the title "Shooting Up in the Bouncy House." I mean, you shoot up, you jump, you shoot up in the air, and
Yeah.
the whole idea of junkies in the streets and playful bouncy houses is just like a crazy juxtaposition.
And off the air or earlier, you guys had talked about how both you and David had come up with lyrics. And do you guys want to touch on the lyrics in this version?
So for this one, it's still kind of like a little bit of a love song. This love or this connection between these people that I imagine in my head, it starts off as boredom first, and then they kind of gain this bond through substance abuse. And then in the end, they die, basically. But they're in love. It's like this mutual addiction.
Self-destruction.
Yeah, self-destruction, and they just became in love and died together.
Yeah, it's dark, probably not healthy, but it makes for a fucking awesome song to listen to.
All right, let's check it out.
A ver, Chi, ponnos la canción.
Mi vecindad.
Ok, vamos a escuchar a Jumpin' in the Bouncy House. David, Jake, thank you very much for joining us this evening. We definitely are huge fans of your music, and I wish you nothing but success. And hopefully, we'll be seeing you shortly on your tour.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having us. You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you guys, man. As long as you guys keep doing the good music, man, we're just going to keep blasting it.
And we got a message from Dark NRG. Que chido que incorporan el español, and also it's a sick cover.
Thank you.
Brushes of Doom, you just earned yourself a new fan. Awesome set tonight. Adding it to my rotation.
Right on. Thank you.
Little by little, that's how you win them over, man.
We appreciate that.
But yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm always excited to see like what else we're gonna come up with, dude. Because I feel like it's just getting more diverse, and still have somewhat of a post-punk base. But either way, whatever Jake and I make, it's gonna be Datura. Like whatever we work on, it's still gonna be Datura.
It's definitely going to be fun to see what you experiment with, and I'm looking forward to it. I think sky's the limit with you guys, so like just keep it up. Don't even like second guess your guys' self. You guys are amazing musicians and artists, so like just keep going.
Definitely impressed with your body of work, and especially the continuation and the evolution from Organochemical to Songs from the Dark House. A lot of the times that second album could just be a mindfuck, and it's a fucking amazing album. Good job, man.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, for anybody listening to us in Northern California, they're definitely going to be playing Sell the Heart Records Festival in August. Do you have dates for that already, or?
First and second.
First and second? Perfect.
Yeah. Come to both.
I was just going to ask, do you guys know if you guys are going to be on the first night or the second night?
Second night.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think Hot Lungs playing that one also, Manny.
Yeah, and also Andy's band, Tsunami Bomb, too.
What about the Sacto show? Do you guys have any date for that one, or where? Or is that going to come all on Monday?
It will come Monday. We don't get to talk to each other that often, so it's in Sacramento at the Cafe Colonial.
All right. Any parting words for?
Yeah, of course. Well, again, thank you guys for having us. We look forward to meeting you guys in person. That's awesome, and we appreciate you guys spending your time with us this evening and making us think of the questions that some people may have, and hopefully we answered.
Shoot from the hip. That's always the best one.
And Jake, what was the outro song that we're gonna listen to next?
We're going to listen to Time, I believe.
Correct.
This has got some of my favorite moments on the record. David's guitar work. Dude, every time I hear it, I just want to dance.
Ah, thanks.
Good job, David.
Well, with that, Datura from Wenatchee, Washington. Amazing post-punk, dark wave, death rock. And thanks for joining us once again. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, man. Really appreciate you guys. And see you soon.
Appreciate you.
Buenas noches, mi vecindad.